And so I haven't really added any fur yet. And this area is mostly just like the skin and how I wanted to mess around with the folds. So then now from here, I'm kind of figuring out the forehead, and then I sort of like hold the fur and wait until I get back here, and then sort of like this transition from the fur to exaggerate how tightly the skin is being pulled back, and then kind of let the fur go outward. And on the cheek area, I like to really bring out the fur. And then go kind of small under the jaw. And short on top of the head. And then the ear, the nose, and the eyes should generally be, on most animals, they sort of go all in line with each other. And so then to find the other ear, I sort of think in perspective. My vanishing point's in the center. So from this ear towards the vanishing point, the other ear will be back there, and it'll be pointed back. And same thing. So I'm thinking the ear around there. And I don't add much fur in this area, and I keep it open because light normally passes through the ear, that back part. So I won't shade there either. And then kind of messing around with different volumes of hair. So this is a lot more individual strands, and this is more open where the light is. All right. We'll go kind of alternate between small hairs, clump, add a little texture. Add some whiskers. Right. So yeah, we pretty much got him in line with this center vanishing point. And then I want to curve him downwards towards the lower vanishing point. So now I gotta think about his neck. My pen is hopefully not gonna die on me. And then, so from his neck down, I'm curving this way. And his fur is probably gonna bunch up right there. Pretty thick. And from here I can decide what kind of clothing I want on him. think I'm gonna split up the strands here too. Yeah, that looks a lot better. Maybe we do some sort of collar. That's some fur coming outward. So since I didn't really plan this beforehand, I could have had the like fur layered out more so and like fanning out since the collar is pressing against it, but sometimes just have to adapt to it. And then we'll go. So I think this character will curve outward. Now that we know the collar is there, we can fan the hair out like I was talking about. And then, so head, half. We can make him have a longer neck. And then, so about 2 heads across. 1, 2. I think his elbow will be about here. So 1, 2. Shoulder is about where the head of this is. Go out for the tricep. I think I want some fur to be missing. And we can kind of experiment with different lengths of hair and kind of using the hair to, so shoulder, using the hair to bend downward. And then, so before I go further with the material on his forearm, we could put some patches, make him look a little rougher. Okay, so elbow. And then, so 1, shoulder, 1, 2, 1, 2. So I want to find where his wrist is before I go do this. Then I want a little variety on this. And a really natural hand pose is the wrist bent downward. So we can use that. So snuckle, and then this finger. I'll have the claws sort of showing where that other finger would be. And we can make this look like it has some texture. I don't want to go too much into the light area with it though, because we'll have a lot of the shading solved out. And so his chest, come across. So shoulder, 2 across, 1, 2, 1, 2. Put that other hand's up here. And it's sort of wrapping and coming around. And before I draw a hand, sometimes I'll kind of like feel out how the arm is going to the hand. So like from how he positioned his hand, what's kind of like a normal way or a more natural way that the like thumb would be in a certain position. Or so for the hands, I have the thumb coming down, and then after the thumb I'm thinking about the stretch from the the thumb to the index finger, and also how the knuckle and this backhand's a little big, but compared to the one in front. But I kind of want this character to be really expressive, so. And with his like design, he's sort of wild compared to the rest of the characters who are like dressed in armor and more civilized, so kind of adds to his character. Well, so since this area was more, we talked about like I was focusing more on stretching the skin, adding fur here can help split up the different materials of the character. And here I'm kind of using small strands of hair, and then these ones out the back to sort of like show the motion of the hand coming. And then so his neck, chest, so since the shoulder isn't really shown too much, we could give him some sort of shirt, because it's still kind of open for. And we'll have the shirt maybe tied. Maybe it was like a shirt that he made on his own. And from that idea, I could maybe have it like patched. And so he's curving. We can have him go, so 1, 2, 3. Be about his waist. And then out from here. 1, 2, his knee, be about here. So he has some sort of shorts. And we can go further. We could actually show 2, 3, waist, 1, 2, 1, 2. If his foot was extended out, we might actually be able to see the entire foot. If we sort of exaggerated a bit. So something like that, and since this character is going downward, we can have this other character like sort of cut across, and that helps more with the composition when they're so close together. And then so this leg is going that direction, so we can have the other one come out. So from the neck, so his knee, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. His knee would be about there, I'm thinking. We won't really see enough of the shorts. So. And then if his knee's bent, thigh, calf sort of come out right here since it's being compressed. So yeah, something like that. And I think we could add another wolf over here, and we're gonna use him to size the next character. So we'll add, starting with the eyes, normally pretty comfortable. Just from the eye, I go out from like how the wrinkles would be. And then I'm probably thinking his mouth will be open, so I'm already like planning the wrinkles on his muzzle. And so what his brow ridge on this side is around here, so I use that to then go across and find out how the other eye was sitting. And then the hair on the cheeks, I go out pretty far with. Kind of just more for like an expression. And then from here, the nose, bring the wrinkles outward, and then sort of like this V shape out from the nose. I try to make the forehead sort of about the same size as the muzzle. And then since with his expression, his ears are probably gonna be going back. Then from this like imaginary center line, I can use that to find out the middle of the forehead. And then from that, we can curve over across, and we'll find out the other ears around there. Sort of gets a little lost in the character, but that's kind of due to where I positioned him. And then around the muzzle, I'm gonna add spots where the whiskers will come out of. And I think I want so just like this character, they kind of went away, but so the whiskers are coming out the open end where nothing is. And that's kind of because if I drew the whiskers here, they might get, it might ruin where the detail I put before is. So. We're bringing the jaw out, thinking around that. Lower jaw is kind of small. And then we'll have some fur coming out. I want some space in here because the gums will come before the teeth. So I gotta create some space in there. And the tongue. Alright, and then for the neck of this character, I don't really have a plan for the pose, so I'll just kind of like go down the character and decide as I go. But I kind of want to make this area, push it away from the other clump of hair. And we'll bring him down and towards the center. We'll add smaller sections of hair. Maybe this character has armor. And then we'll use sort of like a reflection as like a contour. We put some sort of backpack strap, and then we're going out towards the other vanishing point. So I want everything to be pulled in that direction. And then, so same thing, what we did with these two characters with the shoulder, I'm kind of like making almost a bubble around the chest, or through the chest and across both shoulders, sort of like this. And I go from the bottom loop around and sort of imagine it coming around there. And he'll be quite skinny, so from the head, half a head, 1, 2, 3, space to be right there, but I want his hand to come around, so head, half, across 2, 1, 2, elbow will be about here, off page, and then 1, 2, so I'm thinking his hand will be about there, and since he's off page, and then the fur from his arm will split off from the material that's on the outline of this character. And then, so this hand is kind of more in like the knuckles. Sort of the best point I can think of since it's top. So we'll use that to split up the different parts of his hand. I think we'll have tape, and that kind of like starts off the hand. So I want the stretch between the index and the thumb still. We'll exaggerate the claws. And out, so I'm thinking from like all the way back here through the knuckle. Same with here. And then the lower. These two are bent. And we'll take the index finger out. Say something like that. And now that frees up the chest. And I want all the lines that are pretty much telling me how far the length of this character is towards that direction, towards this vanishing point. I want them all to be pointing up towards that vanishing point. And we're bending him down. 1, 2, 3. Elbow. This other elbow will probably be there. Alright, so now we just finished the back arm. And we put shoulder pads similar to this character's. Okay. So while I come up with some sort of idea to finish off this like arc composition, I'll shade in that area. So I'll start with the neck. So yeah, like I said before, I'm just kind of like searching for anywhere that there'd be some sort of like place where light wouldn't pass. So like I like to imagine if you folded a piece of paper, how no light would um, be in between the pieces of paper, or sort of like a cave. And so I shaded this whole area over there, and that's to make the eye pop out more. Shade a little bit under here. You could actually shade the whole thing, since not much light would be down there. And it also makes the top of his forehead a lot stronger. And try to find where these characters meet. Add a lot more shadow on where this left like fox or wolf character is. I want to keep these two ideas like as separate as possible. Alright, so, and then I left this area, it's too much water hold, really light. Before we said that light would pass through that part of the ear. And so I want this part to be pretty heavy in shadow, and then that will kind of like alternate between dark area, light area, dark area, light area, and then dark area. Sort of like a contrasting pattern. We'll do the same thing down here. Leave that area lighter than this dark area. I'm still adding in some shadow to show that the hair is lifted above the other areas. Put some shadow around the eye. I really want the white of that eye to stand out. And then I'm finding the back, this mouth. Some light might pass in through there, but we're gonna darken it so that the teeth, I want the teeth to show a lot more. So. It all kind of just depends on like what areas of the drawing you want to focus on. So I think I want the tongue to stand out, so we won't shade that too much. It's gonna be a pretty big, like, crevice. Yeah, so we'll shade that. So shade a little bit on the ear. I think that works. We'll continue down this character. This area, I already know I'm gonna leave. So we'll put, these could have either been like holes in the shoulder, or they could have been bolts, but the shadow kind of decides which of them, so we're just gonna make them holes. And I think we can pretty much do whatever we want with this character, since we got this nice silhouette on the back of that character. And this area is really white. So. So same thing as we shadowed the whole right side of the face, his right side. We will shadow this whole arm. Maybe even the back of that. So then this front hand will be a lot more noticeable. And this is sort of just a shirt. Yeah, I think that's good enough for that character. Now we'll shade this character. Since he's like so towards the light area, I'll just shade very minimal under the fur. Yeah, I think I'll pretty much repeat that throughout the arm too. Just a little bit of shading under each of the parts where his fur is. Yeah, that might be all the character really needs. I think if I shade too much around here, this character might disappear. And if I shade the foot, same thing, so. I'll finish the same. I think I want to continue the idea of taking this character's like elements and along with the rest, and then but now instead of with the pig, do it with the wolf. So yeah, we'll continue him, and we're gonna loop him out towards the other vanishing point. Kind of figure, so from his eye, I like to go the brow ridge. I think it's easier than the eyeball. Brow, nose will come on. And so from the eye, we're going to go in this direction towards that middle vanishing point. So. He kind of ended up with a odd expression, but it was fine. And then forehead. Little parts of hair. Nose. So we'll actually try something. I don't have enough room to really do the helmet, because I chose forehead, not thinking that I was going to do the helmet. But we'll try to make something out of it. So I'll still try to do the helmet, but we'll have it lifted a little bit. And we'll come outward, back in towards the vanishing point, like that. And then what we can do is have some sort of shape like this. Bring this around the head. And then from there, we continue it. And so that's like the other side, center of his head. We probably cut it a little too deep. And something like this. And so we're on the upper part of our center line, so things will start to loop upwards towards the other vanishing point. And then angle down in towards our center line. Then center of the head. So I can kind of use this as a reference point to find out where the rest of that is. And then, so something that would fit his head shape would probably be something like that. The other side. then to further the shape, we could add a reflection. Wanted to go back in. And then here, could add some sort of strap that connects the headgear. And so I drew the whiskers a little bit thicker, and that's so it breaks it up from sort of like the headgear strap. I probably could have made the fur come over the strap since it's pressing against his head, but I think that's good enough. So you would see a little bit of that back part of the helmet. We'll have this come out and down. Once we shade this area, it'll be better to see the difference between those two parts. And for the final, it's the ending of the helmets. For the muzzle, some sort of cloth. Kind of just add variety in the materials. And then we'll have the neck longer. Coming downward. And to split up the shapes, we'll do a more Boston shape on this. I'm slowly turning it to match with the tilted shoulder. And shoulder will tilt downwards. So. Same pattern, but we'll bring it the other way. Something like that. 2 across. Come down to here. We'll add the layered shoulder. And then to split up from the armor, or the fur of this character, we'll do more of the regular, like a regular sleeve. So down here, 2, 1, half, 2, 1, 2, 3. Waist would be down here, and 2, 1, 2. So then I use that to kind of find out. So sleeve, come down. Use it to find out how the sleeve would fall onto the arm. So yeah, now the 2 sides sort of make this arc shape. Yeah, so that's basically. We do have these branches that are kind of higher up, so we could 1, 2, shoulder to shoulder, 1, 2, 2. Yeah, I think I'll bring the hand up. Be a pinch in the cloth. So yeah, something like that. The hand coming out. Now I'm thinking of the index finger. The like lower pads, the fingers. Using the nail to show the rest of the finger. And the pinky you won't really see, so. Keep turning the pen the wrong direction and like using it like if it's an actual or a normal nib. I think that's why my lines ended up so. The lines almost look dead over here, but I should like find one so shaded. And then out from this hand. Just kind of mess around with the branch. Just sort of making it slim out as it goes. As the branches go deeper. So yeah, I think that's about it for the drawing portion. Let's go through and shade it quick. The paper is starting to bend now. Probably just shade the whole neck. You can go a little heavy on the shading here, so that splits up from that character's forehead too. And we'll shade in between the materials, except near the other characters' shadows. So, same thing, we can go heavy on the shading around this area. There's enough distance between there. And then I'll keep that area as like a divider between the two characters. Try not to touch the armor too much, since it's sort of like the top plane. Keep the tree separated, and the leaves we can make darker so that they contrast with the white of the paper up here. Same with here. That's the top of the leaf. Yeah, so I think that's about it for this drawing. But this is like literally the second time I've ever used this pen. Yeah. Yeah, so that's gonna be it for this video. I hope you guys were somewhat entertained. So yeah, I'll come up with more videos soon. I have a lot of different pens I'm probably gonna try out. So yeah. I literally have, this is pretty much like every different pen that I have. Well, these are both watercolor, but yeah, so next video I'll probably just choose one that I'm feeling like drawing and just just go down the list, and a lot of these pens I barely use, so it'd be kind of fun to experiment with them. Most of them aren't permanent, so I'll probably use water, just like I did on this drawing, to shade. And some of them are a lot of fun to like smudge or shade like how you would with a pencil. So yeah, if you guys are interested in that, you can subscribe, like, share with a friend who's interested in drawing from imagination, or yeah, so see you guys in the next video.